basically what I want to share is my process in terms of writing a song. So for me, it's very important that whatever it is that you put in a song makes sense, and it has to be very relatable to your audience. So that's the first thing. Secondly, you need to know your audience or who you want to speak to, because then it's really important to know what that subject is in order for you to relate to those people concerning that subject. For an example, if you think about Adele is one of the most popular songwriters and artists that we have in the world, and people relate to her mostly because of heartbreaks, because everyone has had a fair share of heartbreak. So when you listen to her music, you kind of relate to what it is that she's saying, because she's probably been through it, and that's what her motivation about heartbreak comes from. So that's another thing. Being a songwriter, you write from experience. So being a songwriter is you taking a piece of yourself and sharing it with the world. It's like you kind of being naked, showing them what you went through, and hopefully someone actually gets to relate to you in that sense. So that's how you build relationship through your music as an artist, as a songwriter. I actually have notes here, just want to share. Okay, so songwriting is important for the benefit of music as a whole. Music is a constantly evolving field, and new songs and styles encourage this evolution. There will always be a room for new, fresh ideas as people's interest in music changes as time goes on. So you need to be, as a songwriter also, you need to be very versatile in terms of writing, because music evolves all the time. So as much as you may be a jazz artist, there has to be a way for you to still make it relatable and still evolve as an artist, when it comes to the songwriting. I'm just going to go through, because apparently I only have 15 minutes to go through all of this. You guys you're welcome to stop me in the middle and ask me a question, so I think that will make it easier for you as well, if there is something that I've said that you want to know a little bit more about. Okay. Writing original music is important to yourself as a composer. Every song is a work of art, and a completed song is a measurement of your work. Songwriting is also a way to express yourself as an artist. It can get you through difficult times. All music can. When you think about it, songwriting is actually good for your health. So people who are songwriters, it's very good for you to release what it is that you're feeling. So it's a kind of coping mechanism as a songwriter to express yourself. I normally get through a lot of things like that. I normally write what it is that I feel. If I had a crush on someone, I'll write about it, because I'm hell no, I never gonna tell him. He'll probably hear the song someday or whatever, Honestly, that's how I cope with certain things. Heartbreak, same thing. If you broke my heart, trust and believe, I'm gonna write about it. And if someone out there really likes the song and it goes platinum, woohoo! Thank you to you and your heartbreak. That's how I cope with, everything that I go through in life. That's my coping mechanism as an artist, as a songwriter. Okay, there's only 3 things here that I wanted to share. Okay, finally, writing music is important for your audience. Audience doesn't have to be at the concert. It's everyone who listens to your music that is your audience. And sharing the story behind the song that you wrote is a great way for you to relate to people. So that's something that I do as well as an artist. Before I sing, or before I sing, I normally give you just a background of the song that I'm about to sing, just for you to have a clear, or maybe like an understanding as to where the song is coming from, so that once you start listening to the song, you have a better relation to the song, and you can also try and relate in your sense or in your experience in your life, the way do you fit in with what it is that you're hearing. That's how I normally work. When I write a song, it's important for me to be as honest as I can, that whoever may be listening to that song can be more relatable to it, but also may it also be a reflection for yourself to look within yourself to change certain things if there needs to be a change in your life. So that's my intention when I write a song. So intentions of writing a song is also something that's very important, because something about the one thing that you need to understand about music, it's a very powerful tool and it speaks to everybody. And it's really easy because it really speaks to the soul. So your soul really can't really not want to listen to it, if you know what I mean. So it's very important that what it is that you write about is kind of a thing that makes, or that kind of helps another person within their soul, you know, make a person better, you know, with whatever it is that they're going through. So that's always my intention when I write a song. And that's really about it.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Before we take other questions,
Yes.
when you make your music, when you write for music, do you ever write where there is no music, like it's just lyrics that you're putting down before even a melody comes? Do you have like words that are coming to you like that?
Yeah.
Or is it always the process of getting the beat?
Well, it differs. It differs. Sometimes, you know, you'll be sitting, because when I started writing, I honestly thought I was a poet. I started writing at the age of 10 or 11. Yeah, 10 or 11. I was in primary school, and I just wrote a lot, and I thought, oh man, and I loved English. English was my favorite class, so like sitting there with, especially poetry class was like my favorite. So that's why I really thought, I'm a poet, you know? So it was always words at the time. But then as I grew up and you know, other influences of you know, the kind of music I grew up listening to, then that also, you know, implemented another different way of writing. Sometimes I'll be sitting, whether it be in the kitchen, and there's a melody in my head, I'm like, na 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 na, and then all of a sudden I want to write down, you know? And that's another thing about being a songwriter. Always make sure that you do have, like, you know, I always have a recorder with me. I use my phone most of the time, because sometimes we'll say take scene, and then something comes, you're like, no, if I get home now, you're confident. And you take your phone, you're like, no, real quickly, you know? So that's another thing that I normally do as a songwriter.
Yeah, that's the questions.
Thank you.
From a hip hop perspective, because the Google House, Batina is the remixes. With us, we say sampling.
Yeah.
So do I sample the lyrics, Wako, or do I sample the lyrics your lyrics, or do I sample the song? And who do I get in contact with? If, for instance, you wrote the song, but it's sang by someone else, and I just like the hook, or maybe the choice of words that you use that I can relate to in my track that I want to sample.
Well, normally I get it there's always legal procedures in that. Normally what they do is you need to find the originator of the song. If I'm not mistaken, I stand corrected. Am I right? Okay, I stand corrected if I'm wrong, but that much I know. Normally you do contact the originator of the song, because there's a lot of you know, people that actually take the song and redo it in the manner of which they would like. But originally, even with them, they have to go back to the originator of the song to actually gain the rights or buy the rights for the song. So you can't really sample anything until those things are done first and foremost. So that much I know.
Just to add on that, like if you, let's say, there's a lot of covers, you know, if you do a cover of somebody's song and you only want the lyrics, but you're gonna sing them differently, and you wanna contact somebody, probably the best person is the publisher, because they would have the ownership right of that particular copyright in the song. Because there's two copyrights in a song. There's copyright in the lyrics and in the music, you know. So it depends. If you wanna be using maybe my beat, you could be coming to me or my publisher. Or if you wanna use Ayanda's lyrics, you go to Ayanda or Ayanda's publisher, you know. Yeah.
Hi Ayanda.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Thank you.
I want to ask you something. It's not a direct question to you.
Okay.
It's for all the vocalists.
Okay.
What do you guys normally check? Do you check the name or you check the beat? The reason why I'm asking for this is because I've had so many beats that I've sent out to vocalists.
Okay.
And then some of them they just said, no, the beat is not okay. But I give it to another one.
Yeah.
And then they kill it, and then it ends up as a hit on my album.
Right.
So most of the time, I just want to find out if you check the name of it. Okay, this is Thalakgale. So here's the beat. I can work with Thalakgale because it's Thalakgale. Before you even listen to the beat.
Right.
But when I send you the beat,
Yeah.
before you even listen to it, like you just listen to the kick and then the head, and then it's just like I can work with this. Before you even know the beat.
Yeah.
Because it happens, because I've had so many songs that I've sent to different people,
Right.
and then they just say,
Yeah.
you know, so I don't know this guy. So
You know, I'll speak for me specifically. I'm not sure about other people, but for me personally as a vocalist, as an artist also, right? Quality is everything to me, first and foremost. So whatever it is that you produce, or whatever it is that you put together and you send to me, I'm going to check your quality. That's one thing, the first and foremost. Because if you look into my music and all the music I've done thus far, one thing people will tell you they know me for is quality. I'm very strict when it comes to quality and sound, because as a brand and as an artist, that's important to me in order for me to deliver what it is that I need to deliver. Do you understand? So that's the first thing that I will look into. Secondly, if I don't feel your beat, please don't be offended. I'll be clear and be like, look, it's not going with who I am or where I'm going when it comes to my brand or the kind of music I make or the kind of collaboration we're about to do. I'm not really feeling it. In fact, I'd even go further to say, do you have anything else? Maybe then you will have something else that maybe I would be, relatable to. I'm not really picky when it comes to people. That's how him and I met. No one really knew who Service was. I didn't even know who he was, but I loved his work. It was incredible, and that's how we started working together. Do you understand? For me, it's quality, and if I do feel, if I feel your beat, then yeah, we're gonna start working. In fact, we can even have a relationship and even work even further. So for me, that's how it is.
Okay, regardless of knowing.
Are you trying?
No, that's fine.
Okay. I see you take out your phone. I'm like,
because
okay, what's
this is what happened most of the time. Yeah? I once sent a beat to someone else, right? Okay. And then after sending the beat, they say to me, okay, nice beat. Right? And then they said to me, I got the contact from someone who will read them for free.
Okay.
Right. So when I started with the beat, they said to me, I'm gonna need 30,000 upfront.
Yeah, I mean, it's a known fact that if you wanna work with, let's say I wanna work with Erika Badu, right? For her to take an inch of her time to work on my song, she's gonna charge for it, And she might not charge Robert Lasper because they've been working together for such a long time, So I think it's true. If a collaboration cannot happen now, it does not mean that it won't happen in the future, I've had people telling me down before that now it has become easier for me to say, here's something, let's work on something, it's all about, if it doesn't work now, let's try someone else, If it doesn't work for Ayanda, it might work for Kalo, it might work for other people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're not good at what you do.
Yeah.
Everyone just has a different, taste and style, so it's not everyone, doesn't mean you're not good at what you do. Okay, so never take that, ever, yeah.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Thanks. How do you get over a block, writer's block?
Okay. Who's the yes? I haven't touched it up. Okay, with me, there's a lot of things I do when it comes to writer's block. Normally, when I write, personally, it's more of a spiritual thing. Okay, let me explain what I mean. These things come to me, these ideas, I believe they come to me from somewhere. Well, I'm Christian, so I believe God is the one that actually plants these things in my brain. So for me, when I have writer's block, I'll sit and I start praying about it. Lord, I really want to do this song, but right now, nothing's coming in, or I can't think clear, I can't hear you clearly. Can you, help me? Open my brain, or open my mind, so I can be able to do what I need to do. And then after that, I take a break. I could listen to music, something completely different from what I was doing at that time. And look, when writer's block comes, look, don't even stress about how long it takes you to write a song. The longer it takes, the better the song is going to come out. I truly believe that. It took me years to finish my album. Like, I don't know how many years. I mean, when I met you, I was still working on that album. It takes a long time. But don't let it frustrate you. Take a break. Move, do something completely different. Watch a movie if you have to. Watch an episode of series. I love series. I'll watch an episode, and normally I watch series because the music they play there is amazing. So I'll sit there and I'll be, listening to music in one of those series that I watch. Then after a bit later, maybe in the evening, I sit down and I try again, and then things are flowing better. So don't really stress about it. Just take your time, and eventually, you'll get into the zone and write again. Sorry? Oh, okay, I don't drink, so I don't know. Maybe a lot of people say they do. You know, I know people that actually drink in studio and get inspired and they write. So I guess, you know, depends.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
I'm a rapper, lyricist, so I always have this fear of people biting my lines.
Right. No, this is a real thing. I know what you mean. No, it's a real thing.
Most people quote verses in their songs. So I just wanted to find out, quoting without referencing, is it theft of intellectual property?
Yes, it is. Because that is your, no. Because that is you. That is your, that's you putting those words together for it to sound that way.
Yeah.
So you can even sue them if you have to.
Okay.
But one thing, the one most important thing about that also you must remember, as a lyricist, as a songwriter, please register your songs. It's very important to register your songs for those kind of things that happen. You know? Yeah, so that is actually a legal offense to you. So you can actually go and sort that out, actually. Yeah. All right.
Sakhe. This is not a question I want to add on what the guys have been asking. Okay, one, guys, as a producer, you can develop a vocalist, and doesn't mean as a producer just have to know how to make a beat. Just have to understand the keys. You can develop your own vocalist. The problem that producers do is one. What it's a bina a tight and then approach a big vocalist from a breakthrough. Let's learn to develop. Let's develop other vocalists. There's a lot of talent, there's a lot of guys that are singing, there's a lot of ladies that are singing. Let's develop our people. We're not about a relationship. When she speaks, she's like, oh, I'm phone like every donor track, oh, I'm coming. While other people they charge them 50 grand. Let's develop other people.
Development is like important for artists, but also I find that a lot of singers and songwriters don't continue to work on themselves. Like nobody's perfect, guys. Even me as a producer, there's levels that I aspire to get to. I'm sure as a singer, you've got levels that you aspire to get to. So development is part of, training is part of development. Training your voice, having a voice coach. If you're not sure how technically how good you are, you can always get better, guys. There's a question.
Yeah, I just want to find out, is there any requirements to be a songwriter? For example, someone that writes content for radio, can he just or she decide that, okay, something just came up to my mind, let me just write this song. So I want to know if, are there any requirements to be a songwriter?
I think yeah, there should be, you know, because you can't just, for example, you can't say, for example, if you are very used to writing hip hop, like for example, and then you approach me as an R&B artist and you're like, yo, I got a song for you, and it's written hip hop, like, you know what I'm saying, like in a hip hop manner, for example, you know, there has to be a way for us to actually have a bridge of common understanding, or a bridge of us getting to connect. You know, so basically, for being versatile is very important as a songwriter. So you need to learn those things as well. So if you want to hop into hip hop, you need to know how, you know, that basic trends as to how it works. You know, it's very important. I feel like as a songwriter, it's very important, because then if you learn that versatility, it's easy for you to hop into, whether it's hip hop, whether it's house, whether it's, you know, then, you know, because all of those things are different genres. So definitely there are certain requirements. All you need to do is actually look into, you know, different genres and what. Yeah. Hi. Yes.
Thank you for your knowledge and for your time.
Thank you.
One question is, songwriters and singers, it's a relationship that's very crucial. But do you think songwriters don't get that much recognition or respect to singers, because not all songwriters can be singers? So what can be done for songwriters to be put in a high regard as singers as well?
I think that it's about giving them a chance, because I'm also going through the same thing as a songwriter. I really want to start writing for other artists, because there's a lot of artists in the country that aren't songwriters, you know. And just because you really, you know, you are well known, or you're good at singing, whatever, some of the songs don't really, well, for me, content is everything, you know, and I really believe that as songwriters, they should give us a chance to actually write for them, because that's how you actually get to write good music. You need help. Not every artist can actually do all those things. That's why for every artist, they have a team behind them. They have a songwriter, they have a production manager, they have this, they have that, they have that. Because we're trying to build your brand in a certain way that you can actually, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Okay, before other questions, but it's for you as a brand and you as an artist to grow, you know, so they can actually teach you. That's why you have that kind of team, and like, you know, behind you. What I also personally believe that as songwriters, it's just about a chance. And I also think it also starts with us. We should actually start writing and start, you know, approaching other artists like, you know, I think this, you should try this, you know, whatever. I'm still going through that as well, so no luck as yet. But I think at some point we can go through. But it's very important that we do that. So yeah, thank you. Next question.
Okay.
I'm rushing because I want to have that next question. Where is it?
No, a quick one.
Where are you? Oh, there you
Yeah. No, when we're going to yes. We would like I did a beat and then I gave it to someone. If was to just work on it and put some elements and things, because he's using 2-5. And then when the song came back, and then he put some other elements like, we know that song, say Uje, and obviously is a part, the rhythm of the part, it played with the piano. So I'm asking if maybe, is that going to give me a trouble with that song?
Yeah, because the composition is somebody else's copyright, you know, so for you to actually get to release it, you need to get the right permission. So you look for the publisher of the original songwriter, look for the publisher and contact the publisher that you want to do a cover of their song. You know, if they agree, they agree. But I mean, it's so easy to do other people's songs, right? Can you be more creative?
Yeah, more original.
Yeah,
but
there's nothing wrong with
not
it.
putting vocals, just playing.
Yeah,
That's
the
fine.
composition.
Even so, it's very important. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
Even so, it's very important because you know what, as a musician also, you know, or as a songwriter, as a composer, it's very good for you to listen to what other people are doing. But also, it's not to have you mimic them or try to be them. It's for you to start reflecting on your talent to see where your creative space is, you know. So it's actually a teacher more than you trying to be them. So we should always remember that, and that's the problem about a lot of people in the industry. We all want to sound like each other. Let's try and find our originality and what makes us special and what puts us, sets us apart from the crowd. So that's the most important thing. Yeah. Thank you. Anyone else? Oh, right.
Last question.
Yeah, last question.
There was a bad. Oh, another one.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, thanks to you.
I'm fine. Just a quick question. How important is it that you and Sir LSG, that you have such a really solid relationship amongst each other? Do you guys work with each other first and then develop a relationship, or you guys work more on having a relationship and then
See, it all starts with relationship. It all starts with relationship, get to knowing the person, their highs, their lows. That's how you gain a relationship and getting to understanding them. That actually makes it easier for you to work with them. So for you to have a very good relationship with anyone when you're working with them, especially when it comes to music or whatever, you need to learn the kind of person they are first. So it's relationship first to relationship working together to relationship working together forever.
Okay, just the last one. This is just more of a personal request. Could you currently sing for us something that you feel?
You're not performing tonight. Are you guys coming tonight? You're not? Don't try. You're not performing tonight. Couldn't try to brainwash, don't try.
Just a short one, at least just for us.
I'm feeling you. I know you feel me too. Ain't no use in trying to find the love in you. I'm the queen of my sandcastle.